Hello friends, this is Lindsay for Fontsy. Welcome back to another project video tutorial. Today we are showing you how to use sublimation markers. So if you've never done sublimation before and you don't have a sublimation printer, then these sublimation markers are a much more affordable way to give it a try. And we're going to show you how to use the sublimation markers as well as how to use the Fontsy designs that you already own to create a really special, really cool sublimation project. So let's go ahead and get started. So here are the sublimation markers that I'm using for the project. These are Caesar brand and they contain sublimation ink. So what you're gonna do is color onto a piece of just plain white, regular old copy paper, and then you use your heat press to transfer the ink onto a polyester shirt or other poly-coated surface. One thing to be aware of is that whatever you draw or color, the design will be flipped backwards when you press it. So for things like text, one thing that you can do is write with a regular pen on the back of the paper and then trace it on the other side with your sublimation marker. Then that reverse text you wrote in the sublimation ink will read the correct way after pressing. Another option is to use your cutting machine's drawing function to draw out your favorite SVG design. And an outline design is the perfect kind of design for this. All you need to remember to do is in the design software, mirror or flip the design so that it gets drawn backwards. I was able to fit these Caesar sublimation markers into the largest pen holder for the Silhouette Cameo. But if you're using another brand, be sure to check to see if they fit in your machine's pen holder. So here's the senior graduation shirt where we used our cutting machine to draw out the design using a black sublimation marker, the fine tip. And now I'm just going to take the primary colors pack of sublimation markers and color in the design. And don't be alarmed that the color doesn't look very vibrant or if it looks a little off. That is completely normal because it's the heat from the heat press that will transfer the ink onto its surface and give it its true color. So just go ahead and color in the design any way you like. This design is from the May 2022 SVG and font bundle at Fontsy, and I dropped the link in this video's description, so click on that to check it out. And don't you think this would be a fun group activity for your high schooler and her friends to color in their own graduation shirts together? Now, since the copy paper is super thin, if you do decide to use a cutting machine to draw out a design, then you want to use a mat that has a low tack to it, or maybe a well-used mat that isn't super sticky anymore. That way the paper won't rip after you draw on it and take it off. And I left the page on the cutting mat while coloring it in, and it was a little hard to take off the paper, so you may want to remove the page from the mat before coloring. And then when you're done coloring, it's time to press. Now I'm using a heat pressing pillow inside the shirt, which is optional, but whether or not you are using a pressing pillow inside the shirt, be sure to place a piece of parchment inside the shirt so that you can protect the other side if any of the ink seeps through the front. So for these Caesar brand sublimation markers, we're going to heat up the press to 370 degrees Fahrenheit and adjust the pressure for a firm pressure. Then place the color transfer face down onto the shirt, and then place a few pieces of heat-resistant tape to hold the transfer in place, and this will prevent the transfer from moving during pressing. Then you'll cover with another piece of parchment and press for 45 seconds. And once it's done, remove the transfer and you can see you've transferred your beautiful colored design onto your shirt, and you can see that color change from the page to the shirt. That ink just becomes so much more vibrant. And since it's sublimation, the ink lives in the actual polyester, so instead of sitting on top of it, so this image is not going to crack or peel up. And this paper actually still has ink on it, so you could use it again to transfer onto another shirt, though it may not be as vibrant as the first time. So there you have it, my friends, how to use sublimation markers and how to use them to create a really cool senior graduating t-shirt. So if you like that design and you want to pick it up, there's a link in the video description, so click on that to check it out. And then thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and then we'll see you in the next video. Bye.